Now, Reggie, in the lesson, you said that Galatians was probably written after Paul's first missionary journey, but before the Council of Jerusalem. Now, I've heard some people have different takes on when the letter was actually written. How would our interpretation of the book differ if, say, it was written at a later time or perhaps even to a different audience?
So in the first place, if it was written not to the southern folks, then we don't have as much information about what the background issues are. We have to kind of just do some guesswork from the letter itself. But if we can locate it right after the first missionary journey to the folks that were involved in the first missionary journey, then we can better piece together exactly what happened. In the second place, if it was written later into the northern Galatian people, we have a challenge in just trying to figure out why, if the council in Jerusalem in chapter 15 dealt so straightforwardly with the whole question of should Gentiles get circumcised, why Paul didn't just end the conversation by citing that letter when he wrote this, why he didn't just talk about that decree when he wrote this letter. So if we date it later, the scholars who do that think that it would have been written right around the time of the letter to the Romans. So what interpreters then do is just read Galatians more like side by side with the letter to the Romans. And that is interesting in its own regard. But still, I think it makes more sense of the whole scenario between Acts and the letter to the Galatians to see this letter as coming after the first missionary journey, before the Jerusalem Council, and several years before the letter to the Romans. And that's interesting because it means Paul's whole concern about works of the law, as opposed to faith in Christ, is an abiding one that carried through his ministry.